Hey good people, and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing well and having an amazing day. So in today's video, you guys, I am wanting to tackle a few projects in my backyard. I'm going to show you guys some of the things I'm going to be doing. I am excited because I do have some pretty interesting and exciting sponsorship opportunities coming up in some upcoming videos, so stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and show you guys the different areas that I need to work on in my backyard and what I'm actually going to be refreshing in today's video. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so one of the spaces that I want to just kind of refresh and decorate is going to be basically around my deck area. You can kind of see here where I have these beautiful azaleas, hedges. They've grown up pretty tall and I definitely want to chop those back. So that is one of the things I want to do in this space. You can see here that I have some fresh bags of mulch just kind of laying around. I went ahead and I purchased a lot of this mulch when it was on sale, 5 for $10, and I just put them in the areas that I know I need to add them until I got ready to actually start working in those spaces. Again, you can see here I have additional hedges. These are all azaleas that I need to trim up and just kind of beautify and make nice. I have a beautiful hosta plant here, and you can see that's starting to bloom. And over here I have just a little running vine, and then I have some lantanas, and it looks like this one is also about to bloom here. You can see here I have these little trees or whatever growing from up underneath the deck. I have to cut all those back. And so basically, yeah, there's a lot to do in this space, and I really want to try to get this done. You can see here, this is an old umbrella, patio umbrella that I'm going to discard. So just mainly cleaning and refreshing the space. So in this particular space, I was wanting to add some type of water feature, and I was thinking about purchasing a concrete bird bath, but you guys will see towards the end what I decide to do. Whatever I do is going to basically coincide with what I have around the remaining part of the deck. However, I always like to add some type of special feature in this particular space. You guys might recall a while back, I had a beautiful water fountain sitting over here. So yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do yet exactly in this area, but I know I want to do something special. All right, y'all, so to get started, we're going to first start by just kind of trimming back and making these azalea hedges look really nice and neat. Now, I did make the mistake last year and trim these back too late in the summer. It might have been even early fall at the time when I trimmed them back in the front yard. And unfortunately, because of that, they did not bloom this past spring. These did, but the ones in the front yard did not. So I'm trying not to make that mistake again. So I do want to take a moment to welcome you to my channel if you are new and visiting for the first time. My name is Carolina, and if this is the type of content you enjoy and find interesting, I would absolutely love to have you join my family of subscribers. And as always, to my existing subscribers, guys, you know you are always welcome back. So y'all, let me tell you what happened. I went away last week for a conference. I was gone for about 4 days, and it just so happens that while I was away, that's when we had those triple-digit temperatures here in South Carolina. It was extremely hot. I think the high some days were like 105 degrees. And because of that, a lot of my potted plants really suffered in those high temperatures. I was not expecting the temperatures to be so high. I did make sure to drench my potted plants really well before I left, but unfortunately, the heat was just too much for them. So I'm having to revive a lot of these plants. Some of them are coming back really nicely, but a lot are not. So I just want to go ahead and quickly show you guys what those plants look like. Remember, we had this beautiful petunia. Is trying to come back. You can see that it still has some green leaves on it. When I got back, y'all, it was just everything was completely brown. You can see that I planted some vegetables underneath the pot, my peppers, so those are looking pretty good still, but The plant on top is struggling, but I'm going to give it another week or so and just kind of see what happens and just, you know, try to water it every day. And here's the other one. You might remember this one as well. This one is slowly coming back. You can see it still has a few blooms on it, but it's still struggling. A lot of the tomato leaves have dried up, but for the most part, y'all, it's been a struggle. I hate this, but the tomatoes seem to be doing pretty good for the most part. So here's a look at one of those other potted plants that I had that kind of suffered a little bit during the high temperatures. This is an azalea. I'm actually going to be planting this one today in my flower bed. You can see here where the leaves are a little scorched. So I'm hoping and praying that it will come back eventually because azaleas tend to be pretty resilient. So fingers crossed that we can get this one to grow back. All right, y'all, so now you can see here that I'm adding my mulch. We finally got this little area here nice and spiffy. Everything looks nice and clean. We've trimmed back the bushes, so we're just going to go ahead and get started with adding the mulch to this space. And I will be sharing with you guys the refresh of each area in the final reveal. Hey y'all, so it is the next day. And I definitely want to use this opportunity to finish up the landscapes around my deck area while it's such a beautiful and sunny day outside because y'all, I am starting kind of late. So that's what we want to try to do. We want to try to finish up as much as we can while we still have plenty of daylight left. So let's get started. All right, y'all, so here's a quick look at the next space I'm going to be working in. If you've been following me for a minute, you're pretty familiar with this space. I always try to do something a little different in this area every year. Lately, I've been on a pink craze in terms of flower color. So I am going to be adding some pink flowers to these different landscapes. But anyway, just wanted to show you guys what the space looks like at the moment. As you can see, I have weeds here. I also have my beautiful morning glories. So I am going to be just kind of cleaning up in this space. And right here, this is where I have my little lattice where my morning glories tend to climb. So I do have to hang this lattice back up because it actually fell to the ground. So I'm going to be taking care of that as well. It's getting dark outside. I want to show you guys what I'm going to be planting over here. I'm actually going to be planting some petunias. For some reason, y'all, I don't know what it is, but I am in a pink phase. I am loving the color pink for flowers. So I'm going to be planting a combination of pink and white flowers. So let me show you guys what I have. So here's a look at the pink petunias that I'm going to be planting. I have 4 of these. These were actually half off at Lowe's. Also with the petunias, I'm going to be pairing them with white and purple Super Bell flowers. All right, y'all, so it's pretty late. It's literally after 9:30, but I do my best work at night, of course, because the temperature is so much more cooler. So as you can see here, I'm in the process of planting those petunias with these Super Bells, and I'm using a combination of pink and white and pink and purple in some areas. Okay, y'all, so it is the next day. My camera actually died last night, so I wasn't able to show me planting all the flowers, but you guys pretty much get the idea. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and add the mulch and just kind of wrap up this space and get everything nice and clean, get everything done. So after adding the mulch in the space I was working in on last night, we're going to get started with the last and final space around my deck area. And this is the space that I told you guys earlier where I wanted to add the water feature. And I am considering a bird bath, and I'll show you guys what that looks like in a minute. All right, so right quickly, here is the last and final space around my deck that I'm going to be working in. You can see here that I have a couple of hostas planted here, and I guess they're getting a lot of sunlight in this space because you see how the leaves are pretty scorched. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of cut those leaves off and just kind of monitor them and see how well they do. I may have to end up moving them, but we'll see. But in this little area here, I also want to plant some impatiens. And typically this area doesn't get full sun. It gets part sun and part shade, which is why I always plant impatiens back here. So that's why I'm a little confused as to why the hostas look the way they do. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and just kind of clean up this space. You can see here, there's a lot of trash back here. So we're going to clean up, beautify it. And again, this is where I want to add my water feature. You can see I already have the stepping stone over there as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have these mums here. They were planted in my little planter on top of my deck, and I decided to, just kind of plant these in the ground because I am going to be doing a deck makeover really, really soon, and I don't want to use these in my planters on the deck. So we're going to go ahead and add these to the landscape. So at the last minute, I ran out to Lowe's and picked up this beautiful concrete bird bath to add to that space. All right, good people. So before the final reveal, let's take a look back and be reminded as to what each of these spaces look like before we trimmed the hedges, before we rigged up all the debris. We also went ahead and planted some fresh new flowers, and we added some fresh new mulch as well. Don't forget, we also added a beautiful bird bath feature. So now let's take a look at the final reveal. So I do want to share with you all that this little area right here, this is where the pedestal of the bird bath, the top of it rests inside of that. And so that's what secures the top of this bird bath to the pedestal. So that's why I had to move the fountain to the edge of the bird bath, because it wasn't getting enough water sitting on top of that little rise. But I do love how everything turned out. I absolutely love all the different landscapes, and the detail in this bird bath is just so super beautiful. Absolutely love it. Now, I will say that you don't necessarily have to use a solar water fountain in this bird bath. I'm probably not. I just wanted to show you that you could use it if you wanted to. But chances are I'm probably just going to have the stones and some water in this little feature for the birds. Also, if you have a bird bath, don't forget it can become a mosquito breeding spot. I like to add mosquito bits to help prevent mosquito larvae from developing. They're safe to use as directed and keep the water from becoming a mosquito nursery. Just follow the instructions on the label and continue changing the water regularly to keep it clean and healthy for the birds. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and hype this video. And let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the entire landscape. In the meantime, I will see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye now.